This is a historical analysis of the Hall of Bulls by Sarah Ruthven. To start, it's important to think about this work in its location. The Hall of Bulls is located in a series of caves. These caves are deep underground, and it requires a great deal of effort to reach them. Because of this, we can discern that humans would not have gone deep into these caves to live. Instead, these caves must have held some sort of importance to the people who entered into the space. This is likely related to the fact that they were nomadic humans, moving from different locations to move with animal populations and due to weather patterns. Because of this, they would need to keep anything they made that they couldn't fit in their pocket. They would need to keep it protected, they would need to keep it secure, and they would need to make it findable again. These works must have been important because nomadic humans only did things for the purpose of survival. It was the main thought of our earliest humans. And so we can think about the function of the work as being one of making sense of the world. And we know that early humans were trying desperately to make sense of a chaotic world. They did this in a couple of ways. They did this by developing ritual habits. They did this by recording and observing the world around them. And they did this by making sense of the human experience within the natural world. When we look at Hall of Bulls and we see animals of varying size and shape, animals from both the frontal view of the face and the side of the body, we can identify that different artists' hands created these works and that they were done in some ways from observing the actual animals. Though they were not interested in duplicating the exact anatomical features of the animals, they were not just recording what existed. They were making sense of what they were observing. They were making sense of the world around them. Ritual practice is likely a part of the importance of the Hall of Bulls. Because humans would have had to take a lot of effort to get into the space, and then creating these works that were elaborate and difficult to make. We can imagine that early humans would have believed that by creating these works, they were blessing the hunt, blessing plentiful herds, or potentially asking for some sort of divine intervention so that their survival could be easier. In an article titled Lascaux from the Heilbron Timeline of Art History by Laura Ann Tedesco, she notes that early humans imbued these works with visual power and magical properties. The visual power and magical properties are not meant to be the most mystical of things, but instead thinking about how they could make sense of the world, visual power, and how there was so much about the world they didn't understand, magical properties. The cave paintings at the Hall of Bulls and the cave paintings of Lascaux are important to human history for understanding how in prehistory, the time before writing, early humans made sense of their world.